Uh, I decided I'd make this real quick, try to explain some of what's going on, and to talk about my plans for what I'm doing in the near future. And then I'll probably do, I have no idea what it'll be, some kind of video about what is wrong with my fucking, everything I own is garbage. Um, about the Lampe Creative channel project, because I think that a lot of people are going to be surprised by the variety and are probably quite unlikely to realize sort of what this is supposed to be. Um, I was talking to a few people about it, and they were very much surprised by what I had to say, and so I thought, oh well, maybe it's, there's a dozen or so people now that are subscribed. They should probably know what the hell I'm doing with this channel, and should probably know that this channel. I mean, I wasn't really supposed to be making videos to begin with. I mean, maybe once in a while or something. I certainly wasn't supposed to be the only person using this channel to make videos. In fact, it wasn't even originally supposed to be a channel per se. It was supposed to be a network of people who were making shows of their own. But that never really came together. I've actually heard a lot of stories since I tried to start this originally back in 2015 that were very similar to this, that people have had those sorts of experiences. Anyway, I'm quite surprisingly ill. I have a very sensitive digestive system, and apparently I had something yesterday that I'm having a very difficult time recovering from, my body reacting to negatively, very negatively. And it happens every once in a while. I'm on a lot of medication and stuff to mitigate some of the effects, but this time it's quite suddenly, quite unexpectedly intense. Yeah, Discord. Discord never sleeps, and neither do I. So I'm gonna try to let people know that I am working on the first episode of Improv Zero, which is a project that I've been dreaming about doing since probably 2012. And I'm really excited to finally have it, but at the same time, there's a lot of trepidation because I've done a pretty shit job of putting it together. I mean, I keep trying to warn people that I'm not that great a musician to begin with. But Improv Zero is about working with area musicians and just sort of recording the sort of stuff that we're working on when we do things together, even just having an improv session with them and recording, which is why it's called Improv Zero. And then to interview them about their experiences in the local scene and things like that, and then put the video up on the internet. But that's a lot more complicated than it sounds, because it turns out that having to try to edit something with the quality of professional music is just bonkers. And I'm not very good at the programs that I'm using to do that with yet, and the equipment never works properly. No, the equipment, none of this equipment ever consistently works properly. I mean, I say that. I'm sitting in a broken chair, and my armrest is a towel stuffed in a drawer. So it's not like I'm working with the best to begin with, really. I got my trusty Shure over here, which is pretty much, the only part of this whole setup that's really, I mean, even the audio box it's hooked up into is ancient. It's a UR22. The Mark II's been out for ages and ages. Anyway, I'm sort of just rambling at this point. I'm not sure how much of this is useful information to anybody, but the point is that Improv Zero is still coming along, but it's taking a hell of a lot longer to make than I expected. And it's not even what most of the people who've been introduced to my channel at this point are into. But I'm hoping that it's something that can be interesting to them and to sort of help people to understand. But none of the stuff. This is why this is so important. None of this stuff happens in a fucking vacuum, right? Like, we compartmentalize our reality to such bizarre extremes that we think we buy music in a store and it's produced like canned goods, And to some extent, that's even true, which is, if anything, worse. But that's not our society. That's not our culture. That's not our reality. It's not. We're sort of lying to ourselves in order to make it more digestible, more consumable. But these people, your neighbors, are indie musicians, and YouTubers and writers. And one of the other things, a project I almost did today, but I want to have a little more prep for it. And I'm not, again, every time I think this is going to be quick and easy to do, it takes ages to get anything done. So I'm not sure how long it'll take to edit, even when I do get around to doing it. And that's assuming that all the equipment works. I mean, fucking, I, I still constantly struggle with this camera, for example, as if you needed another one. But anyway, the point is that the poetry stuff is coming along. Lab-based Poetry Corner, which is another thing that I've been working on for a very long time and want to try to make sure that I get right. But I'm not even really sure how I want to execute it yet. So doing it today, I mean, if there's anything I've learned from working with Theory Plebe, it's that you have got to just do shit sometimes. Because if you don't, it never gets done. And maybe that's what I'm going to have to do, but we'll see. For now, I think I'm going to just wrap this thing up and hope that the people who see it will sort of understand that there's a lot of potential in not just what I'm trying to do, but it can help people to sort of understand that if you look not even just critically, but even if you just sort of think, what does this mean to me? What does this mean to the people around me? What does this mean for my society? Like if you go out to eat, what are the chances that the people that are sitting at the tables around you, you have something in common with without realizing it, or that they're musicians that play music very similar to the music that you're into, or very much the opposite of the music that you're into, and it's a learning experience. These sorts of things are constantly going on, and we never consider them. But to study culture is the reason that I am a part of most of this, to some extent. I mean, a lot of my interests have been a part of my life longer than sociology, but nonetheless, using sociology to examine culture is pretty much what it's for. And as somebody who is part of cultural scenes or who wants to make music or art, I mean, obviously, that would mean that studying that culture is an in. You know what I mean? Like working with artists means I get to examine what they're doing and see what's happening on a sociological level with the artistic community of my hometown. And that's sort of the thought that I have about music as well, obviously, writing and poetry. And hopefully that'll go somewhere. Now, I got to edit the shit out of this because it's probably only going to be about 4 minutes long, something like that. I have all this shit pulled out of it. And then I'm going to get a hair up my ass and decide that I have to try to lay some kind of piano track under it or something. I'll just I have some samples. I'll just loop a sample or some shit. Fucking music is so hard and I'm so bad at it. Anyway, everybody's got to start somewhere, right? What did I started 15 years ago when I was trying to. Anyway, so that should help to keep you abreast of what I'm up to. And you can look forward to my various projects in the future.